Glorious day to you, my friends. Welcome to day number 14 of being, blissful existence, illuminating and nurturing growth. Where for 144 days we are breathing, we're chanting, we're spending time with our inner being, we're meditating, and we're inviting spirit. We're connecting with spirit, the spiritual aspect of our heart, the spiritual aspect of everything, Sihukuturu, and we're doing this. The imagery they gave me was we're spiraling up the Great Pyramid to the edge of the matrix, poking our head through the hub of the Dharma chakra, using the Eye of Providence to look down on this 3D reality from a divine perspective. Nisa atakataro rotokuto. What does all that mean? I don't know. We're going to breathe. We're going to chant. We're going to meditate. We're going to spend time with our inner being, which is everything. Okay, we'll do this first and then we'll talk about victory. So, we're using the Mala of Ascension. And part of the Mala of Ascension is the Mala of Joy. And in the Mala of Joy, we're breaking up the 108 seeds in a mala into 9 groups of 12. And when we extend it into the Mala of Ascension, there's 3 more groups of 12. So there's 12 groups of 12, 144. Now, each of the 9 groups of 12 represent one of the Merkaba, or one of the chakras in our Merkaba, our light body, our chariot, our ascension vehicle, our transcendent vehicle. Now, at the bottom of our Merkaba, we have Vasundhara, the Earth Star chakra, which represents the earth and our roots going into the earth, our connection to it. And then we have Muladhara, our root chakra, which is in our physical bodies. Vasundhara is in our auric field at the bottom of our Merkaba. Svadhisthana is if I put my hand on Svadhisthana, I'm getting Manipura information because my hand was on Manipura. Svadhisthana, where the self is established, it's our sacral chakra, the water chakra. Then Manipura, the solar plexus chakra, our willpower, our inspiration, the fire chakra, Nihato Kuryuto. Then Anahata, our heart center, love, both giving and receiving, Niarasahatakata. Vishuddha, the throat chakra, deals with sound and the space in between all the elements below, the air, the fire, the water, the earth. Usuhuturutata. Anya, or Agnya, the third eye chakra, which deals with intuition, how we see outside of this physical realm, Niareskohuturuta. And Sahasrara, our crown chakra, Niaresohutora Atakata. And at the top of our Merkaba, Vyapini, the goddess who is everywhere, the soul star chakra. And then, both in the higher realms, since they're talking about 12 dimensions of reality, we have 9 chakras here. We need another 3. And there's so many different words that we can use for these 3 aspects. One, the colors are cyan, light blue to white. The next one is magenta to white. And the third one is golden yellow to white. And the way they described it to me is when it's the cyan color, we're more in this physicality. As we move up in the dimensions, in our consciousness, to the edge of the matrix, where these three concepts also exist in the highest source of consciousness, in its purest form. Si hukutura, si asha ayakaharauta, asha. In Avestan, sister language to Sanskrit, asha means this truth, this path of truth. Iskuhutugur. We're going to be talking about dharma today. Yes. Nihakara arsana hoturu aya ashishikiarata. There's a lot to talk about. Hopefully we can get through this. So these three ideas, that Sanskrit names that we're using, is Rita, Vikara, Rita, righteousness, truth, virtue, wisdom, cosmic order, time, divine timing, Vikara, which means change, or the higher form of change. Action, what we do that causes the ripples of change. But doing so here, in this physicality, is one thing, but doing it with higher thought forms is another, and doing it up in the ultimate of divinity and or consciousness is a third thing. Now, this last concept, chakra, idea, attribute, is shrishti, creation, emanation, divine creation. It just happens magically, from our point of view. But when we elevate our consciousness up to the understanding of how this matrix, this universe works, then that divine creation makes a whole bunch of sense, and how we interact with it, with our actions, and how the universe responds. It just, the creation happens like it's a formula. That all three happen at the same time. But the further we're away, the further we're in our ego and in our own ways, the lower we are on this pyramid, the longer it takes for the cycle to come around and actually manifest what we desire. So we're going to use this imagery of the pyramid, apparently. And for the first 55 days during the Mala of Joy portion, we're chanting the magical chant, Om Mani Padme Hum. And in the second part, we're chanting Om Ah Hung. Okay? So, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om, the primordial sound of the universe. Mani, like Mani Pura, the jewel. And we're the jewel. Padme, lotus. We're the jewel in the lotus. And Hum, I am. Or so many other things. It's the union of them. It means so much. And for Om Ahung, Om is the primordial sound of the universe, but it's the wisdom. And Ah is associated with the throat or sound, and it's the emptiness, the akash, the space, or the emptiness, because to me, emptiness and space are different. The space in between the elements is still space in this 3D space, but this emptiness, that's, to me, that's the void. And Hum is the mind. This is the body, the speech, the mind. And it's the union of them both, that we are the wisdom of the emptiness. We're the jewel of the lotus, and we're the wisdom of the emptiness. We'll talk more about Samavriti Pranayama, which this is all based upon, where we break up the 12 seeds in each of the chakras into 4 groups of 3 representing Samavriti Pranayama, or box breath. And I think I'm going to do it, let's see, if I can rotate, a Apparently, I am doing it correctly. I have a graphic I'm going to show tomorrow. Really, really cool thing I found. So, the first phase, the first 3 seeds, box breath is we breathe in, we hold our breath with a full set of lungs. That's phase 2. We exhale for phase 3. We just empty out our lungs. And phase 4 is that we hold our breath with an empty set of lungs. Equal, sama, vritti, way, iskahia tukuru. So breathe in for a count of 3. We hold our breath for a count of 3. We breathe out for a count of 3. We hold our breath with an empty set of lungs for a count of 3. Om Mani Padme Hum. Iskahia rota atara. So today happens to be we're doing this for talking points. Iskohuturita Dussehra, the Hindu festival Dussehra. For the past 9 days, it has been a celebration of Navratri, honoring the goddess Durga, Iska Ma Durga, and Durga, if I'm going to anglicize it, Durga is the Supreme Mother Goddess, Iskahia Tukuru Husata Koryata. And in Navratri, we're honoring the divine feminine, the aspects of femininity and how the feminine aspects of this universe and consciousness. Iskohutur takara arsana Torah. I'm not really a fan of Dussehra, the term. I prefer, this festival has many names. Dussehra is the 10th day. It's the last day. We close out this festival and we start preparing for Diwali in 10 days, 12 days, 14, 18 days, something like that. It's around the next new moon, okay? Iskotudio. We're starting on the 12th and the new moon's the 13th. Diwali is the festival of light. We're celebrating the victory of light over dark. And in this festival, Dussehra, we're celebrating the victory of good over evil. So, but the name I prefer is Vijaya Dashami, Iskahia Rotohurata. And Jai is victory. Vijaya is the highest victory. And Dashami means 10th, Iskahia Tukurata Haryata. But Da also means to give. And Shami is this flowering tree that grows anywhere in the desert, not needing water. It lives for hundreds and hundreds of years. And in many countries in the Middle East or in the region around the Indian Ocean or the Gulf, the Red Sea, where it is very arid and there's lots of desert, this tree flourishes. And this tree is a very medicinal tree. It's a very sacred tree. And this Shami, is also called the tree of life in many cultures. So to me, the Shami is the highest victory through giving, either as the tree of life or as the tree of life does, or with the tree of life. In other words, embodying this tree of life in our hearts and giving like it does. The Ayurvedic medicine coming from this Shami tree, it has many names as well, but I like Shami. Now, Vijaya Dashami, this festival has its roots. It's founded in, we talked about it before, the epic Ramayana. It's about the god Ram or Rama, who is an avatar of Vishnu, which is, he's the preserver. I've got a link to a video which will tell us the story of it. So if you want to watch a video, it'll be in a comment below. When Ram defeated the demon king Ravana, and Dharma was established on earth. Now, let's touch on Dharma just for a second. Dharma means so many things. Dharma, it is the way the universe works in one way. And to me, I prefer that version of Dharma. Dharma is just waiting. It's the churning. We talked about the churning of the ocean of milk. All of her actions contribute to the churning of, or the turning of, the Dharma chakra. And this wheel of Dharma, which is how the universe flows the energy. Okay, we're going with the flow of the universe. We're working with the flow of Dharma while we're spiraling up this great pyramid. Dharma also is a conscious way of life. It's a conscious and virtuous, it's the path of Asha. It's the path of truth, being a truthful person, how we interact with people, how we see ourselves, and just being a better person. You know, not making it about our emotions, not being overwhelmed by our emotions, but there's so many other attributes that many people assign to what is the right way to live a life, a dharmic life. Trust your inner being. Talk to your inner being about what you love doing. What brings you pleasure. Understanding that based on your belief systems, what is good behavior, what is bad behavior, what behaviors and habits I like to promote, and which ones I'd like to demote. Dharma. So many, many, many meanings of Dharma. But probably for the rest of today, we're going to use the virtuous life meaning of Dharma. That if I live a virtuous life, that I will not make grand karmic imprints, and I'll be a loving mother, father, son, daughter, brother, sister, husband, wife, co-worker, neighbor. Now, this also, but where's Durga, right? This festival commemorates Durga's victory over the buffalo demon. Let me see if I can get his name right. Mahishasura. Okay, Asura is one of the lower vibrational beings, a demon, and he's represented as a buffalo because Mahi means buffalo. Her victory over Mahishasura restored and protects Dharma. Okay? Now, the backstory on this is that Indra, at the time, he's considered to be one of the supreme gods of all the devas. Well, Indra and the devas battled this Asura, Mahishasura. Okay? They were defeated. How? It doesn't matter how. We can talk about it. But they retreated to the mountains, okay? And when they retreated, they communed. They went into the mountains, into a cave, and they meditated. They looked at what was their motivation. This is all not in the story. This is what they're telling me right now, okay? They looked at their inner being. They looked at what their attributes are. They looked at their motivations. And they all sat in, and they all, while sitting in their own divinity and their own gifts and their gratitude for their gifts, it just emanated out. Each and every one of them, they emanated out their gifts, just giving them freely to the world, to the community. They meditated in community, but not focused on a goal. They weren't focused on sending energy to each other. They were focused on their inner being, their gifts, their gratitude, their love, their awe of the divinity flowing through them. Deep in gratitude of the divine flow. And a byproduct of this, of them sitting in their true essence, radiating outward without any effort. And all of them were doing this. The energy swirled and coalesced. The attraction point created by all of this divine energy, Durga, was born. Durga incarnated, manifested, emanated this shrishtied, right then and there. She's mind-born out of the energy that coalesced of all those devas in meditation, in their divine radiance. Okay, so this newly born Durga rides out into battle against this Mahishasura, okay? And she's riding her lioness, roaring, and just, can you imagine this? This goddess Durga, newly born goddess Durga, just riding her lioness lion out there, and she goes to kill the demon, and does kill the demon. And this is what this victory was all about. We're going to talk more about that imagery in a second. Also, we talked about the Gita the other day, and how Arjun and Krishna were having a conversation, and the first chapter was all about war. Well, the Bhagavad Gita is a part of the Mahabharata, or Mahabharat, Iskahich Otur Askahiyasasa. And this festival also marks when Arjun defeated the Kauravas, Iskahiyatata. So Arjun and his brother were in exile, and this 13th year, which really would have been cool if yesterday, the 13th day, would be today, but today's the 14th day. No big deal. They were in exile, and they hung their weapons, their celestial weapons, on a shami tree, for safekeeping, okay? Celestial weapons and a divine tree, the tree of life. Sure, I'm going to hang my weapons on that. And then, that's when that invading army invaded. They attacked. In exile, Arjun, only one of the brothers, ran back, got his celestial weapons, and then went out to do battle. That's what the Bhagavad Gita is all about. Not only doing battle, the discussion that Krishna, an avatar of Vishnu also, having a conversation with Arjun, and like I said yesterday, my people are telling me that Krishna was his higher self. He's having a conversation with his inner being about this divinity and the nature of the universe and war and the consequences and ascending up through the thought forms. So, and again, Vijayadashami is considered the victory of good over evil, and Diwali, Deepavali, Niskahiyata is the Vedic way of saying it, which is the festival of the lights, the celebrating the victory of light over darkness, or even better, wisdom over ignorance. There's links to Shami, to the Latin name of the tree, this tree of life. Interestingly, since we're talking about dharma, this tree of life is associated with a particular lunar mansion in Hindu astrology, a nakshastra called Dhanishta. Okay? Now, it has qualities of Aquarius and Pisces, but the important part here is that its ruling planet is Mars. Ah, the god of war. Oh, we're talking about war. Didn't we talk about the good fight, or the fight of the right, or whatever it was that we were talking about, fighting and choosing to fight? And if you see it as a fight, then you're always fighting. But if we're choosing alignment, then we're only going to fight when necessary, as what Arjun did after he went through this whole treatise of being human, elevating his consciousness by talking with Krishna, as Krishna was revealing all these truths to him. Now, but Mars, the god of war, there's a lot of attributes with this god that the warlike he's like a warmonger. So how does this have to do with dharma? Arjun became the righteous ruler and went to war out of necessity and righteousness. Because if he didn't stop them, who was going to? Now, back to the Asha, the path of virtue, or the path of truth. In Sanskrit, this ruling planet Mars is called Mangala, okay? One of the definitions of Mangala, it's got many, many, many great definitions. One is auspicious. And one of the quotes that I found was, a lioness which is resting majestically after a lioness's share. So she's had her fill, she's eaten, she's had her fill, and now she's just resting majestically. Well, that's the type of ruler, Mars, that we like to imagine. Now, Mangala is also special to Ashtangis, Nihakartakara, as it's the closing prayer in the Ashtanga practice. Nihakara arskahayata urataha asayatata. I like to call it the oath of the righteous ruler, okay? And as it translates, may the rulers of the earth keep to a path of virtue for protecting the welfare for all generations. May the religious and all the people. It's a great translation. There we go. Be blessed forever. May all beings everywhere be happy. Om Shanti 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 Niska Iarota Aratakasahiyata. This, anytime we make an oath of the righteous ruler, anytime we chant the Mangala, we're reminded of our conscious choice to choose goodness over evil, to choose virtue, to choose alignment over contrast, to choose respect and gratitude over all the other choices that we can make. In the not the description, but in the pinned comment, you'll have all this information here, with a couple of links over to YouTube and Wisdom Lib, Wikipedia, so if you want to read, there's plenty to read. Mangala contains one line that always, always, always hits me. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu niyaryasha huturu akayatata. But to me, loka samasta means everything. Niyaryashka aroturu means everything to me. Arskahicha niyaryatata. Sukhino, we've talked about sukha and sukha in, dukkhi out, iskaharyata uroto, where it's the path of ease. But this sukhino is also us embodying this path of ease and happiness and contentment, this calmness, this peace inside here. Isu uturyutotorata. And bhavantu means way more than just beings. All beings everywhere. It's all energy everywhere. It's light. It's subatomic particles. It's everything. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. I can't see anahasi etariata. I can't even get through it once without tearing up. Asa egara nanani arieta atakasku uturu ata. Isker ariesa nanani arieta. It's a great divine wish. It's a great divine blessing, and filled with teary-eyed ecstasy. So we've come full circle. This victory. What does this vikara, vijaya? What is vijaya? What is the highest form of victory? Is it fighting the good fight? Is it being in alignment and not attracting that fight? There are words and words and words and words and words to use. Before we go and start meditating, there's also a link to a Sadguru, like 13 years ago, made a video on what Navratri means. It's worth a look. It's worth a listen. As these three ideas, this Rita, Vikara, and Shrishti, map to karma and dharma and the result of unifying the two. And also our path of ascension in the Mala of Ascension, and us spiraling up this great pyramid are mapped to the ideas of the three qualities, which map to our three ideas. This Tamas, Rajas, and Sattva, where he describes it, and I like his words for it, because most people translate tamas as the darkness, or the physical aspect, which it is, us being earthbound and making those earthly choices from our lower chakras. That's why we're spiraling up. That's why we're spending 55 days on this earth chakra, as we loosen our grip, aparigraha te vasundara, unclasp, loosen the grip on this physicality, our attachments to this physicality, the limitations of this physicality, and we're embracing and inviting, we're breathing in spirit as a part of the Samavriti, where we're unclasping the tamas, this inertia of our lower chakras, the inertia of the universe. We're not trying to engage in the inertia of the physicality. Rajas is us being the righteous ruler. It's us being this choosing the emotional and conscious dharma, acts of dharma, because it has to deal with our actions and being a better person through our actions. But we're still in this realm of the physical. We can still be the righteous ruler. Totally cool. But the third aspect associated with Sarasvati, Niyaratara Asko Uturu the Sattva, spirit, this divine wisdom, ascension, transcendence, engaging in all that we think is outside of us, everything that is not this physicality, which will lead us up to being able to poke our head through the Dharma chakra. But all these are subtle energies that we're not focused on. Okay? As we loosen our grips on the lower ideals and invite in and allow, we just set our intention now to invite in spirit, and then when we're chanting and breathing, we're breathing and chanting. Our inner being's taking care of the rest. Our inner being is always transcending. So there's really no work to do. So maybe today's video title is that you are already victorious. Because our inner being sees us as victorious, successful in everything that we do. We, being a human, are judging what we get back from the universe, which is exactly what we put out. So we're successful. We have already attained victory. We are always victorious, according to the law of attraction. Now it's up to, when we're experiencing the contrast, our inner being is just telling us, hey, there's another viewpoint. You can view what happened differently if you choose. And maybe you won't be so upset. As a matter of fact, you might actually be proud of yourself that you did it. I'm going to switch my legs. Clearly, I'm talking way too long. So I think it's interesting that this festival ties in the Ramayan, Durga, in the Bhagavad Gita, the Song of God, Asihitura, Hisa Akatiyariyarata, and they all have to do with victory, and righteousness, Dharma, Dharma, or the Dharma of righteous action, is simply just being in a positive spiral and getting closer and closer in alignment on every iteration, every little loop that we do. That's it. It's the same analogy as looping around a pyramid. The first couple of times we do it, it's a long, arduous journey. And then we get to the top, we're spiraling. The spiral gets closer and closer. We're using a golden spiral. That nature uses. In almost everything. Okay, so we talked a lot. Hopefully, during meditation, we can drop it all. And we can focus on our breath, focus on the chant, and focus on emptiness. Let me get back to that screen. Here we go. So So no fire today, no green screen, but I do have the tree of life. And this did come from India, handmade. The fire's here because this shami, this tree of life, is also rumored to be a tree of fire. This fire that does not consume. Nihara sahatakara arta. He arta. Hisayanata. Hisho otoriota tsakariata. I like it when the light language throws out a word that's Sanskrit, and it actually has the same meaning in Sanskrit as it does in light language. It's just funny. So I invite you to relax. So ukutura anato urahia. Whether you lie down or sit in seated meditation, I invite you to settle in. Make yourself comfortable. Comfort is important. And I invite you to close your eyes. And it does not matter if you're sitting in seated meditation, whether you're in full lotus or sitting on a block in easy seat like I am. I ask you to do so with a straight spine. And if you're sitting, be comfortable. But if you're sitting upright, if your back is not against the back of the chair, which is okay if it is, comfort and ease are the important parts. If you're just practicing sitting in seated meditation, I like to sit on a block so that my hips are elevated. It makes it so much easier for me. It's been years since I've sat in full lotus. If you do so with a straight spine, excellent. Now let's begin to slowly elongate and deepen our breath. As we focus our awareness on our breath. With each breath, deepening the breath and easing the breath. As we listen to the sound of our breath as we breathe in. And we breathe out. Again, listening to the sound of our breath as we breathe in. And listening to the sound of our breath as we breathe out. As we feel how it feels to breathe in. And feel how it feels to breathe out. And if you practice Ujjayi breath, now might be a good time. As we breathe in, relaxing. And we exhale, releasing. As we feel how it feels to breathe in. And we feel how it feels to breathe out. moving to the heart center. Let us create in our mind's eye, in our imagination, a chest of our creation. And let us put in this chest all of our anger, all of our worry, all of our fears, all of our doubts, all of our guilt, all of our shame, all of our grief. Let us just put it in the chest. Let's also put in the chest all of our to-do lists, anything that we're excited about, everything on our shopping list, anything we're going to do the rest of the day, the rest of the week, anytime in the future, anything like a party or whatever, Halloween, anything in the future, let us just put it in the chest. Let us also put in this chest what has already happened today, what's happened yesterday, earlier in the week, and at any time in the past. Let us just put it in the chest. We're just going to put it on temporary hold while we breathe, while we chant, while we meditate. And let's also ask our inner being to put in this chest what it feels no longer serves, and what it feels might distract us from our time with our breath, from our time with the chant, and our time with the meditation. And let us close this chest and set it aside. It shall be there for you at the end of meditation, if you so desire. Now let us focus our awareness on our heart center. For in our heart center is the home of our holy fire. And our holy fire is the source of our bright light. In every breath that we take with intention, fans the flames of our holy fire, breaks through the debris of life, of normal life, the debris in our chakras, the blockages, the resistances. Our bright light, our holy fire makes cracks in those, which makes cracks for our light to get out there, and brighten. As we invite and allow the holy fire to flow in, through, and around us all, in every way, and everywhere, and everywhen. In every way, and everywhere, and everyone, effortlessly, naturally, and completely. And let us start the divine flow, if you have not done so already. Let us take the energy from our heart center and move it up through the chakras, moving it up through Vishuddha, through Anya, through Sahasrara, through Vyapini, moving it up through the realms, through the dimensions, to the edge of the matrix, and entering into the highest source of consciousness through the ideas of Rita, Vikara, Shrishti. And in this highest source of consciousness, the home of the holy fire, the home of unconditional love, there is no ego. There is only unconditional love, which is total acceptance. where there is no judgment, where it always respects free will, and where the power is unlimited. And bringing back more pure holy fire through the ideas of Shrishti, divine creation, Vikara, divine action, and Rita, divine order, Siekutori, or divine timing. Now into the matrix, and down through the realms, down through the dimensions, through Vyapini, purifying it, through Sahasrara, purifying it, through Anya, purifying it, through Vishuddha, purifying it, back into Anahata, our heart center, purifying our hearts. And let us take this purified energy and move it down through the lower chakras, purifying the lower chakras and grounding this energy effectively. Moving it down through Mani Padme, purifying it, down through Svadhisthana, purifying it, purifying our ideas of self, purifying our ideas of who we think we are. Moving it down through Muladhara, purifying it, through Vasundhara, purifying it. Now imagine growing roots down into Mother Earth, down, 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 deep into the core of Gaia, wrapping these roots around the heart of Gaia, giving her a great big hug, bringing back her grounded love. And this grounded love is simply a reminder that your awareness is being human on this 3D plane, but is not of this world, that it is spirit, that it is unlimited, and bringing back her grounded love up to the root system, through Vasundhara, through Muladhara, Svadhisthana, Mani Padme, and back into Anahata, our heart center. Combining the energies, the idea of purity, and this grounded love. And let us turn over to our inner being, without any conscious thought, to continue this divine flow. Siukuturu hatitikara asaheta ariharanahasa akachuro utoro ora aya hasa acha atakarahata. And on the exhale, with intention of our conscious mind and sankalpa of our inner being, let us push this energy out from our heart chakra, out from our physical bodies, out of our auric field, and into every aspect of our awareness, in every way, and everywhere, and everywhen. Nihaka arata ayasaha. Chaya ko oro uta a sahaya acha atarata. Completely, effortlessly, naturally. Niarasa atuto urhaka ayarasana. So the process for this, we will start off with one Aum, the primordial sound of the universe, Om. But we're going to elongate each of the sounds. Ah from the heart, oo from the root, and internalizing it. We're going to chant Om Mani Padme Hum 108 times using the Mala of Joy. Koshi chime at the end will let us know when we're on the last one. And Niariacha Atakari Satoro, we will transition with one Aum. In a few breaths, and a gentle reminder that we will switch the chant to Om Ahung using the Mala of Ascension portion. We will chant Om Ma. We will start off with one Aying. Ah from the heart, E from the crown, and G resonating it out into all of consciousness. Saiko tokoryoto kara Aying niariaska atokoryoto. And we will chant Om Ahung 36 times. And the Koshi chime at the end will let us know when we were on the last one. And we will close out with one Aying. A few more breaths. I'm going to switch my legs. Kasi ikutoro una atara artatara. Kashi hisa atara artakanata takirata. Okay. And a breath in for Aum. And a breath in to chant. Hotu tu uhurhahe, kachihia tatarahanahe, ashuhuko otoro otara, kita takarata hetara, ishuhuko otoro na asa, asihe kachara ratakahe, kotoro horona hata, ashuhuko otoro, kasihike atata rahata, hasohu to rahayata atare, ashihika atare toro, katuto horoto utorshaya, katita harata anahasaka eshaha, satata karata he toro, kushuhuyata atira harata, kushahaka ata, hisoto horota atara, kata takarisa, utoro horanahasehera, kotoro hushaya, kati takarata hatitaha, hatoroto urahashaya, iso hokoro horanahasa, ashihikotoro hutana, ashuhutoro uronaha, shita takarhiso utoro hutana. Ishkahatara haranahasa akerara. Ashuhutoro unoto. Arharakanahasa etara. Shihata takarata tejara. Ichuhorora hanata rara. Atakarati hita. Atuto hurosho hutoro. Kosha takarara yenara. Sihi ti hararate, kuto toro hotona narwara, isho hotoro honata, ashahiaka atara aranaha, iso utoro uranahata garahase sihiara, ushohuko uro, asohuko uro honaata, ashita takarata ati takarahasana. Utohoro hotara harshana hasa, shihika arahana, kotoro hoko urshaha, asita takarahata turaha, uchohoroto a, ati takarahatara anahasahuta, achata takarehasana, Kotoro honata arata. Kushuhuyoto orohana atakara. Kosata takarate titiariaria. Utoro horanahasa acharata. Oroto oranahatara. Nasahya karata atarata kara. Nisa akara araka sanonono. Utoro hukota ara arnahasa katadiara. Nisa atara arahana asahaka. Ushuhuku uruhu turo rakaturata. Kasuhuku uruhu sanata arataka. Kashita taharata atahanata. Utoruhu rona hatara arakahasa. Kushuhuku uruto uro. Nasa aka atata aratihita. Huturuto urhana aka asita arata. Ishuhuku urhanata. Aturo utananana. Aturo uturo asaha. Chuturo hutkata anata katahatada. Huturo huku onahasa atara arkihiata. Kotoro ukuhanata. Ashihitoro urhana atsita. Shita takarata hesoha. Atukuruto uhusha era. Nata taharata aha. Kotor hutor urshana hatitka. Shai hiaka atata rahasasira. Ushuhuko urhutara arnahasasira. Asahka atara. Kisa tatakarata itora. Kotor hukur hutara arnahyatara. Nisa hatara arakihisotara. Kasihikia chahata. Hoturo ukuhushana asakehe. Asoto tuhuro takayarda. Ator hukona hasasa. Artikarata atitahara. Ashoko utoro ukana. Shaihiaka arara takahita. Ashoko hotoro hotokara. Ator huronahata. Kashihikara arkana hasaka etara. Katoru urhunoto uruhakahasa. Ishahadadar hatkanahasi arareato hotoro. Otoro hoka aratahe. Kashihikurara. Asihikacha ananaharata eta. Utoro ukosha aratanahasa eratara. Ashuhuku uruhuta. Katata karata atara. Sitata karata etorata. Shayata atara haraka. Kocha oroto uhota. Hosho uhukurota. Katiariarata hanatakara. Ushuhuko utoro utanahata. Ashaka atara arkayesaha. Niska ataharati kariarata. Kotor onahata. Kashihikatar arkanhasa. Hisho utoro ukanata rati. Kasata karate hitoro. Kushuhuko uruhuta. Asahaka atara arkanahata. Hasuto to uruto uhushaya a. Kisohoko uruhana hasa eka atara hata. Hashihiko utoro utana. Katita harata atara arkana hasisa. Kutoroto urota atara arhanahasi. Utor hukoro nahaswarata tare. Shai atara arakahaso ukoro hotoro. Shai sayetara tati sayasha. Tirata Atar Arakanahasa Isohukoja Jara Horota Arakada Isoro Rohayara Kachihirotahara Hotoro Orohanahasiara Shai Hakatar Arakanahasutarata Atura Arianahatakaraha Ayarata Ahanayaraha Uruhutar Harihinara Aishahika Anahira Irara Hayetora Kashihika Arvata Arva Sonorata Niri Aryarakasha Inatakaya Kasai Inatakarito Honoro Rotakayeto Hatora Hanai Aihianaritara Aishahita Takarhotono Uroto Uhusha Ihara Arkaya Atur Utona Asha Hirana Hita Aihakarata Tarashiaranaya Aturutata Hiratai Hisana Artakashura Hatatakashiha Sayaka Anatakashu Hitatarat Kitanchara Kashahiara Kaisa Hichanarasi Kurashanai Hasi Icha Atatakashaha Utoto Uru Anahasha Eta Atakicha Oshanasa Aya Atatakarhana Atatakarati isu uta araratita Hasita takarasa isha Ihana isha atatakarati Asuru iha Ashyana akati Asaisha Isa hatatara karatu urtarwa anwara Asahika Ashisu Hotora Asahita Tahan Aisha Sayaka Arta Itanara Harara Aya Harasa Eko Oro Atakari Hota Yatakara Ita Arhasta Sasa Ita Arhanoro
Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum.
Ano Eta Tar Sayeko Anaeti Icha ana ira aya awa ata tukusa ahawateta ashu uta tarana ekarata aschi ana etora kasu uku usha ayaka anasa ekatareta karya asu uyacha ana eta taraka asaka Isanata hartakayeta asahartana Inna harshayak ata tura ayhana ita
Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum.
Sahikota anadareta hasakoto tatar arkana hasika Tata arayata Kutur uranasu yacha atakarieta Kata anahasaya atakara asa anashihisa Ita dar haranahasa yacha ata Sata dar suya. Asi iti ti arahatunaro. Nisa atu karamsir.
Mani Padme
Asi irura asu achar te anar. Ati ata ashia anwara. Na araka asa aushahisa tit arta. Nari hisa ashi arharina. Tata karyesa yoto.
Mani Padme Hum.
Iya jadi sa iruana hitata.
Mani
Hari hita anahasuta. Anahasa ira kaya sana tokorata. Hasa iri yar karna. Asa hikota waratsa kanari yarata. Arkana hasa ita karyata suhutarati. Narasa echa atakarisa. Katur ursana tukur ushaheta. Ate arhat kana asuata. Ashihetar utana edokarata. Ita tarhar sanatura koraso utar. Narasa etor atar. Isuriya yar narura karata. Kasa anayar o ana awa sheyata. Atara karsa ana ashayasa. Suayata arita arshaya. Saya urut ora arshaya. Kasayata atana na askasha. Iso uru utukursa tanay. Sata. Or asaya akashi arnae. Sia aashia anna aka. Isa atata atakashi it. Hatar arsha aga asae.
Mani Padme Hum.
Ata atkarsha inoraya. Nitkara asa ikat atwaraya. Nata takara sa chichkaro sa ayotorata. Niska ara artka arawaya. Ara arkayanaya. Kutora arwara arshana waraya sa. Kasita ara arkarsha. Nasko uthor arukai. Asuhutu uruhuka era nahasa erda. So ukuru sa. Katita harahara kana hasuaya. Asuayata arrakana. Nisahaka arhate utahata. Utur fursanar uta arshahanar gorata. Nihita harrakana. Asuku utur tanahar takar sa anata. Uhur arha sa aka ase akara. Utur urhana asahe. Ati takar yasa anodur tukorto. Kis utur anahasuta. Kisha atsara arka hasisasa. Nitakursa atur atkarna. Niarar skanar kadat. Saekurna saka. Shakar.
Mani Padme Hum.
Kasuku.
Mani Padme
Anahasa ayakara. Asa yerkare orso onoruto. Orso utur urna orada. Arorso onoruto oratakarya. Arorasa. Nasa ay asakara sanatakara. Ashu ukuru urnahat orata. Kutur unnahat oratakara saka.
Mani Padme Hum.
And a breath in for Aum. And a few gentle breaths. Si ukutur unahatut atat arara. Icha atar arkanahasu ukuru urana. Isha yekatukuriet urta. Iso ukutar arnahasi etar. Titakaryasa turad. This is a gentle reminder that we're going to switch the chant to Om Ahung. We will start off with one Aying, Aying. We will chant Om Ahung 36 times using the Mala of Ascension. And the Koshi chime at the end. Atana arata kesa tukura asaka asasisira. The Koshi chime at the end will let us know when we're on the last one. Urota atar harkasanerata. And we will close out with one Aying. Niariaso utur urkanahasu ukarata. Here we go. That's good. And a breath in for Aying. Aying. And a breath in to chant. Om. Excuse me. Wide. In a breath in, praying. Stay here for as long as you like. Maybe even pause the video to spend more time with yourself, with the energy. And when you are ready, slowly bring your awareness back to the here and now, back to this present moment, to your present location. Maybe invite in some gentle movements, maybe wiggle your fingers, maybe wiggle your toes. And when you are ready, slowly open your eyes and welcome in the new now. Utur arhana asa eka atar arkanahasa. Congratulations, my friends. We have completed day number 14. You are always victorious of being, blissful existence, illuminating and nurturing growth, or it could be grace. There's so many great G words out there. They shared a lot for me. This Vijaya, what is it? As we ask our inner being what this is, when we gently tune our vibration to that of our source within, where we are setting aside what we think we know about ourselves, not saying that we shouldn't internally reflect on who we are, what we do, what our behaviors are, what our habits are, what are our pros and cons. Not saying that not to do that, but our lower chakras, bring our lower chakras more into alignment so that we're not as fearful. We're resting more, digesting more. We're more in the flow, our essence, our true self, aligning our will with the divine will, not being overwhelmed by our egoic wants and needs and desires, not being overwhelmed by our emotions, not being overwhelmed by our grief. And as we raise our vibration, we become more love-focused, more respect-focused, more ebb and flow focused. When we invite in and embody more of the principles of sattva, gently, effortlessly, over time, and we're going to do it by breathing, by chanting, and allowing our inner being to do all the work. So I thank you, my friends, for sharing with me my highest bliss. It's time for bed. Shine on with your inner being, and make it a great day. Because why would you leave it up to anyone else? Iso ukanata harata.